this grass was flat. It was like none of this stuff was here. This is the wetland side, and this is the wetlands loop going around. We can go to the right or to the left, but if we go to the right, it'll bring us back and we'll be coming out here. If we go left, it's going to bring us back out here. It's a big circle. All this stuff, like, over my head, like, last time I've been here. So it's probably going to be a lot thicker on the other side, too, when we get to the other side. That's about to be interesting. I don't think I've seen the grass fall around here before. Alright. I'll vote for going right. One thing you want to do while you're hiking is paying attention to where you're stepping. Excuse me, Mr. Spider. What's up, Mr. Spider? Watch where you're walking, because first of all, it's tripping hazards. You're stepping on rocks, there's acorns and stuff on the ground. You can step on those, roll your ankle. If there's holes or dips, you step into those. You can also roll your ankle and stuff like that. So you want to pay attention to where you're stepping. But also, because of animals like Mr. Spider back there that I just avoided stepping on, but more importantly, snakes, because there are snakes out here. That's the important snakes out here. So that's one reason we're watching the ground and watching where we're stepping. You step and not realize it's a slope, and then you take off sliding and falling. You'll be rolling until you hit the bottom of wherever you're going to. But always pay attention to where you're walking, where you're stepping. One of the fundamentals I always teach is breaking three things up into a three-level grid. So my field of vision is ground, watching where I'm walking, but not just the ground in front of me, I'm watching all around me. Low level, the ground, middle level is directly in front of me, the direction I'm going in. The path, the tree line, and everything else. Not just in front of me, but all the way around. And then, lastly, the timeline, the tree line. In each level, I'm looking for something. I'm being situationally aware, watching where I'm stepping. I'm watching the path, watching if anyone's coming or going, and also for animal life to my flanks. And then also I'm watching the tree line, because snakes can be in trees. I don't want the snake to fall on me. I don't want a tree limb to fall on me, anything like that, so I'm paying attention to my high line too. Low line, we're avoiding tripping hazards and stepping on snakes or any animals, stepping in holes, stepping in the slope and sliding, rolling my ankle, all that kind of stuff. Midline, I'm watching mostly for human and animal life or traffic. Be it in front of me, be it to my flank. Also, don't forget your rear. Every once in a while, you want to turn around and check your rear too. Same thing, low line, midline, and high line. And then finally up top, you can have loose tree limbs and stuff like that, but the main thing I check the tree line for is snakes. As I always say, because snakes can be in the tree, they will fall out, and I don't want them to land on me. That's gonna be a problem. All right. When I'm walking a path, depending on the scenario, will dictate where I walk, be it if I walk in the center or if I walk toward the edge. The terrain itself will dictate where I walk, what's the safest, but also what is more tactically feasible. When I used to walk streets late at night, a long time ago, and walking home in the dark, stuff like that, I used to walk toward the middle of the road or outside parked cars. That way if a threat emerged, I could see the threat coming and it would give me some reaction time. Out here in this path, it's nice and flat. There's not a lot of rocks and stuff like that or dips. So I can either walk the edge as I take in my surroundings, or I can walk the center. I'm not too worried about somebody running out trying to knock me out here, but I am concerned about animal life. So if I place myself in the center of the path, I have more reaction time to anything that comes out or anything I see, be it human or animal. Something I like to practice when I'm out here hiking is, as I walk the trail, there'll be spots where there's lots of rocks, pretty dense, and then there'll be patches where there's no rocks. It's soft, it's muddy. I'll walk around the soft, muddy parts so I don't leave tracks or footprints. And even though I walk around the soft, muddy parts, not leaving my footprint meshed into the mud, still when I walk on the rocks, if my shoes are wet, the rocks that are dry are going to have patches of wet rocks in the midst of them, which shows where I was stepping at. So I'm still leaving a trace. I'm just not leaving as a mark of the trace as I would by stepping in the mud, or stepping on the hard surface. I also like to change my pace. The faster you walk or hike, the more you tend to miss visually as well as what you're hearing. The slower pace you go, the more things you tend to notice as you move through. So those are two of the advantages and disadvantages of going fast versus going slow. So I'll change my pace, my cadence too, as I go through. Sometimes I'll go a little slower so I can catch more of what's going on around me, and sometimes I'll pick it up just for conditioning and stuff like that. Check out these uprooted trees. See that? All the rain and this moist ground over here. Roots get nice and soft. Hard wind or storm comes through, blows these trees right over. You can see the roots been taken clear out the ground. Bigger set. And then we have another one back here. One thing I like to do, because as you can see I have long hair, and probably anybody should do it, but specifically people with long hair, is I usually wrap my hair up before I come into an environment like this where there's trees and overhang and bushes and stuff like that, just to keep little critters out of my hair and off of me for the most part. As you can see, I tend to keep my body covered. I don't have a whole lot of skin exposed, so ticks and all these other little creatures that like to get on you and infest you, they have a harder time if you got a barrier between you and them. So I like to keep barriers of clothing between me and the brush and overhang and bushes and all that kind of stuff. You're going to be hotter probably, but it's better off in the long run trying to pick stuff off you. But as you can see, this time I didn't wrap my hair. Also, I noticed my gear, my bag, is pinching me a little bit. Normally it doesn't. I think that's because the last time I was out, and usually when I'm out here, it tends to be colder. So I have more clothing on top, and I have the bag on top of it, so it rides different. So what I did do a little bit was slightly adjusted, but it's still not properly adjusted to where it's not pinching into my traps a little bit. But that's another thing. That's a part of your gear check and stuff. I should have did that before I set off, but it's okay. It won't kill me. Let's roll. See, this is what I was talking about before, as far as tracks, footprints, scarring and displacement. I'm standing right here and I see thousands of footprints walking through this soft mud. I told you I usually will try to walk along the edge just so I don't leave footprints, just to be mindful of some of my principles as I traverse terrain. You can see we got vehicle tracks. We got 1,000 footprints, and you can tell what kind of shoes they're wearing from the imprint on the shoe. I would rather walk the edge. Of course, I gotta watch this brush and stuff, but I would rather walk the edge around all this soft stuff instead of leaving all these strong tracks and footprints showing which direction I'm traveling in and all that kind of stuff. Lizard.
Bye, little guy.